Hello everyone, this is Kaizouwar here, and I've been wanting to make this video for the past 4 years now. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle has weird music choices that really bug the shit out of me. I like the game, but there are some odd choices, right? There's some odd choices in here. There's some songs that I feel like they should have been here, like a no-brainer. There are some songs that I'm surprised are in here for some whatever reason, but I'm gonna get to all that later. This is probably gonna be a long video about me rambling about music that's in this goddamn game. Now, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is known to have the BlazBlue music cut and looped. Why? Well, the Uni in Persona 4 music is very short, and the Uni in Persona 4 music loops easier than BlazBlue music does, and BlazBlue's music was condensed, possibly due to the shorter matches that happen in the Cross Tag Battle. But I will get into later as to why cutting the BlazBlue music, despite having the shorter matches, was completely and utterly pointless, because most of the other songs in the game outside of BlazBlue really kind of just shit on that and make that point moot. But I'm gonna get to that when I get to that. This is gonna be a long, rambly video, and before I even get to start, it's a disclaimer. If you guys do not know the songs I'm talking about, I apologize because there's a lot of shit that was just gonna go right over your head. I'm making this video as if everyone I know, like everyone who's watching this video at least, knows what I'm talking about. Like every song I'm talking about in this of these franchises, I hope you know, because I can't just say play the music every time I want to bring a song up and stop right there. You know, that's gonna take forever. So yeah, if you know all the songs I'm talking about, that's great. You're gonna get this video a lot easier. But if you don't, I apologize. But you know, I'm just gotta move on. I gotta move on. And now we reach the BlazBlue side. Now I'm gonna go over every single song that's from BlazBlue in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle. So here we go. On the BlazBlue side, we have Rebellion, the theme of Ragna the Blood Edge, Lust Sin, the theme of Jin, Bullet Dance, Queen of Rose, Motorhead, Susanoo, Awakening the Chaos, Gluttony Fang, Alexandrite, Active Angel, Justice Sword, The Tyrant, Crystal Forest, Walpurgisnacht, Must Die, Conciliation, Stand Unrivaled. Those are the main character themes that we have now, and here's are the versus themes. Under Heaven Destruction, White Requiem, Black and White, Nightmare Fiction, Imperial Code, Injustice, God of War, Reincarnation. Now, Reincarnation is actually kind of special. Actually, I might as well just finish the rest. Engazer, Sector 7, and 6 Heroes. Now, there are some songs I left out of this, but I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, Reincarnation. Now, Reincarnation in the original BlazBlue games, really Central Fiction, it is the theme song for Kokonoe and Celica versus 9. But for some reason in Cross Tag Battle, it is Jubei and 9's team theme. Now, I don't know why they made that decision. My guess is that they did, maybe because they like the song enough to say, hey, you know what, Jubei and 9, you know, why not? You know, it's just for this one game, let them have the theme as their team theme. Fine, whatever, you know? It doesn't even matter. But another thing, again, I hate this mostly because it kind of just, it makes you think about certain things. For example, if Jubei and 9 were able to get Reincarnation as their own theme, how come tracks related to someone like Tsubaki can't get in? They're treating Izoi as if she's regular old Tsubaki in this game, which she is. And so that means her theme songs like Condemnation Wings, right? That's her main theme, like Tsubaki's straight up character theme from BlazBlue. Memory of Tears, which is her Tsubaki versus Noelle's theme. And Childish Killer, which is Tsubaki's versus Jin's theme. It feels weird that they didn't bother to add those. They're all absent. Now, I give Noelle a pass. Like, someone for, like, Noelle, you know, I give her a pass, like, okay, maybe songs related to Mood, like Sword of Doom doesn't matter, because, you know, this is Noelle we're talking about, just plain Noelle. But if they're treating Izoi like regular Tsubaki in this game, then I feel like that she should have had all the theme songs that came with her. First of all, that would have made more songs, even though they would have been cut, but still, it would have been better than that, but whatever. Now, each song in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is cut down to either a minute or a minute 30. It's like an average from a minute to a minute 30. And they're doing that in a way to, like, they cut the songs so they can loop it easier to match up for songs like Persona 4 or Uni, because they loop easier. But in doing so, they cut out literally most of the song. Because like an average BlazBlue song is about 4 minutes long, you know? An average BlazBlue song ranges from 4 to 5 minutes. If you want to get, you know, saucy, you can make it up to 7 minutes like Hakaishin, but like, yeah. And the thing is, there are songs I left out. I left out Jaeger, I left out Variable Heart, and I left out Crystal Forest while I was going through that list of music. And the only reason I left those songs out is because they have weird extended cuts. And I don't know why. Because Crystal Forest doesn't loop. Crystal Forest is a stop. Variable Heart and Jaeger have their own intros. They still have their intros from when they, from the original games. So they don't, I guess they don't loop properly, right? And it's weird as to why those 3 songs are exceptions. Now, the only reason I say that is because Jaeger, which is now to DLC, Variable Heart, Mai was a later DLC character that actually came out when they released the final 9 characters for BlazBlue Cross Tag PAL 1.0, and obviously Naruto came after that, and Celica came in the 2.0 expansion pack. So maybe they hastily cut the music, or maybe they just didn't put enough, maybe they just wanted to keep certain intros. Honestly, again, don't know why they did all that. Don't know why they did all that. And the music just feels butchered because of it. The music is pretty butchered because of it, because there's a lot of parts of the song that are really cut. And the fact that, songs like Rebellion are just a minute and 5 seconds long is weird. I'll play Rebellion and just to hear this, and it just feels weird, right? There should be more here. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or how about this cut of Alexandrite? Hell, even this cut of Nightmare Fiction, which kind of ruins the song for me, not gonna lie. another thing that bugs me about the BlazBlue music is that the two versions aren't in the, you're not able to fight against them in verses. Now, I get they would have been cut just like the other BlazBlue music, but I still would have liked them to be here just for the variety's sake. But, I guess it's really not a big deal. Plus, I feel like their cuts would have been worse than Daisuke's music being cut. So, there's no point in me whining about that. Honestly, it's just a big why that's not in there. But, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Now, all the songs I talk about are able to be played in the Versus theme. So there's a songs I'm not going to bring up because they're not even in the game to even play in the Versus mode or online or whatever. These songs have to be just straight up in the Versus menu to talk about. But I will talk about the other ones later because there's some songs that I feel like should have just been playable. But, I'm not even going to bother with that right now. But here we are at the BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle original tracks. Now, here we have Crossing Fate for Persona 4 Arena, Crossing Fate for Under Night and Birth, Crossing Fate for Ruby, the opening version for Crossing Fate, Turning Fate, and the system theme. Now, Crossing Fate, all four versions at least, well, it's 5 versions, but the 4 that really matter. The 4 versions were composed by different composers that represent the series they're from. For example, Crossing Fate was composed by, the original Crossing Fate, which is more BlazBlue-centric. Crossing Fate is composed by Norichika Sato, who is one of the main composers over at ARCSYS Works. Persona 4 was composed by Tetsuya Kobayashi, who was also, one of the main composers over at ATLAS. Crossing Fate for Under Night was composed by Raito, who is a composer for Melty Blood and Under Night. And finally, Crossing Fate for Ruby was composed by Jeff Williams, who is the composer for Ruby. Now, these songs are 4 minutes long, and they're not cut in any way. They're not some short versions or anything like that outside of the opening version for Crossing Fate. Now, this is weird to me because these songs are 4 minutes long. These songs are really 4 minutes long, an average of 4 minutes long. And that kind of begs the question, why is the BlazBlue music cut if Crossing Fate gets to exist like this? And that's what kind of bothers me a bit. I get Crossing Fate, supposedly these big songs from different composers in this game, right? Collaboration stuff, perfectly fine. But I don't know why the BlazBlue music had to suffer for it. Yeah, I know some BlazBlue songs have long intros and, you'll get the match over before that, but ARCSYS Works seemingly haven't gave a shit about that before. I mean, hell, look at Guilty Gear. Guilty Gear has several songs that have long intros, even in XR, and they had no big deal of cutting them for some whatever reason. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get it. Cross Tag Battle is a completely different game, a completely different ball field. Get it, but still, this is what kind of ruins the whole point of cutting the BlazBlue music. If all the other songs don't have to suffer through this, why does BlazBlue's have to? And it kind of pisses me off too, because I'm like, why? You know what I mean? Why? Okay, so moving on to that, there's Arcana Heart, Senran Kagura, and Akatsuki Blitzkampf. They do not have Crossing Fate versions, but at least I can understand this for at least 2 reasons. One, there aren't enough characters for those series to even have a Crossing Fate. Normally these Crossing Fates are kind of like default songs for those who have team themes or whatnot. For example, if I were to play a battle with 4 Under Night characters and put the song on auto, yeah, I get the Under Night version of Crossing Fate will play, stuff like that. But there's only one Arcana Heart character in the form of Heart Aino. Senran Kagura only has 1 character in the form of Yumi, and Akatsuki Blitzkampf only has 2 characters, Akatsuki and Blitztank. So I feel like there had to be at least a minimum of 4 characters for a Crossing Fate to matter. And plus, the second reason is I think there's not enough composers. Maybe getting composers just to make that one song from maybe Arcana Heart's composer, or whoever's the current composer for Arcana Heart. Maybe just getting them to do that song was pointless. The same goes for Senran Kagura, who has plenty of composers, and Akatsuki Blitzkampf, who has a composer. I feel like just doing all that would have been pointless. So and one more complaint I have is why in the hell is the opening version for Crossing Fate even a song to be selected? That's just a slot wasted. It's literally just the opening version of Crossing Fate. It's literally no different. It has a cut at the very end. It's not even that different song. We already have Crossing Fate. You know what I mean? We already have Crossing Fate as a battle track to be selected. So why is the opening version even here as its own song? That just sucks. And honestly, this gets worse way later in the video. Trust me, it gets way worse in the video. But I don't know why the opening version is even here. It's practically the same song. Really. It's the same song with just a cut at the end, man. I'm just, that shit pisses me off because it's just there. It's like, who's gonna willingly choose this song when they can just listen to the full version of Crossing Fate? So now we are on the Persona side, and everything is fairly normal here. Everyone has their regular battle themes from Persona 4 Arena, so I really have no complaints here. Each song also ranges from a minute to at least a minute 30 seconds, which I think Yosuke's theme, the Junes Hero, is about a minute 40, but still, it doesn't matter. Each song loops properly, and that's okay. But there are some complaints I have, not too many, but there are some. So the game lets the Persona 4 characters have Shadow World and Pursuing My True Self. Now, Shadow World is the opening theme for Persona 4 Golden, and Pursuing My True Self is the opening theme for Persona 4, the original one. And they're their full versions. These are the full versions of the songs Pursuing My True Self and Shadow World, which, funny enough, it took me to learning about cross-site battles to know that Pursuing My True Self had a full version. Did not know that until now. But anyway, for some reason, they're their full versions, but Burn My Dread doesn't have that, which bothers me. I don't know why. And I know for a fact that Burn My Dread has a full version to it, but it doesn't. It's not, like, for whatever reason, it's not in cross-type battle, which kind of bothers the shit out of me, you know? Like, I don't know why. It's not really anything huge, but I feel like, you know, if you're gonna have the full version of the other songs, then at least Burn My Dread should have the full version, like, whatever. Another complaint I have is, where's Mass Destruction? You mean like practically the most iconic JRPG theme, like in probably the history of JRPGs. It's not even in cross-site battle, which is funny to me because there's enough Persona 3 characters to make it work. You know what I mean? But you know, again, not a big deal. Not a big deal. But I feel like Mass Destruction should have at least been here by default. Hell, Smash got Mass Destruction, and they know how iconic that is. Hell, it's only Joker in Smash, and they let them keep Mass Destruction. Ugh, that's what bothers me. I don't know why. And honestly, it should have been here. And I think another complaint I have is the song's Best Friends, which is the opening theme for Persona 4 Arena, and Break Out Of, which is the opening theme for Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. They're not in cross-type battle too, which is weird to me. You know, this game represents Persona 4 Arena, right? They call it Persona 4 Arena, like, pretty often, right? You definitely tell the logos. They don't have the Persona 4 logo, it's the Persona 4 Arena logo. So, this should count. How come the opening themes for Persona 4 Arena aren't even in the game? You know, Best Friends made sense. Break Out Of, I guess, wouldn't make sense because there weren't, like, any Ultimax characters until Adachi came in. But I feel like that's, like, a Break Out Of should have came with him, at least. But, again, maybe licensing issues, I don't know. Maybe it's just a reason they didn't want to put the songs in there. But I feel like if you were able to put Shadow World and Pursuing My True Self and Burn My Dread, then I feel like the openings for the Arena game should have made it in. That's my personal take, you know? I feel like those three songs, Best Friends, Break Out Of, and Mass Destruction, those would have been no-brainers for this game. But, you know, whatever. It's probably it's not really a big deal because, you know, Persona actually did pretty well in the music front. It didn't do anything offensive. It didn't ruin any music. It let everybody keep their actual songs. Hell, it even gave us Shadow World, Pursuing My True Self as battle themes, and Burn My Dread. So I'm not going to complain too much about it. But I feel like Mass Destruction, of all songs, should have made it in there. I swear to God. It would make total sense. But again, not a big deal. And since this still is Persona 4, I guess, at the end of the day, why not throw in Time to Make History and Reach Out to the Truth? I mean, I feel like I'm just throwing songs in because I want them in there, which I would. Not really the biggest fan of Time to Make History, but it would have made sense to be in here, you know. And Reach Out to the Truth is the battle theme for Persona 4, so again, why not? just saying, just adding music choices. These are songs I would have liked to see in this game. Also, The Fog. I mean, there's probably no reason to me to add The Fog in there, mostly because it's the Astro Heat theme for Persona 4 Arena, but still, throw it in there. And here we are at the Under Night in Birth side. And again, Under Night in Birth is fairly normal. Each song ranges for about 2 minutes to 2 minutes to 30 seconds in length. It loops easier, no big deal. I don't have any complaints about the Under Night side. It actually does its shit pretty well. Under Night, you did pretty well. I don't have no complaints on this thing. And now we reach the Ruby side. And the Ruby side is actually pretty unique, right? The Ruby side is actually pretty unique, mostly because of the mixes that it has for each character. Ruby, Weiss, Blake, and Yang, their songs are actually medley mixes of various other songs from Ruby. For example, Ruby's mixes, the Ruby Mix BBTAG Special, is actually her songs This Will Be the Day, Red Like Roses Part 2 mixed together. And also I think The Best Day Ever, if I can remember that song correctly. Weiss Mix BBTAG Special is the mix of Mirror Mirror, It's My Turn, and This Life Is Mine. Blake's mix is From Shadows and Like Warning Follows Night, and Yang's mix is Armed and Ready and I Burn. So, you know, there's actually pretty unique because there are multiple songs mixed into one. Perfectly fine, fair. But what kind of weirds me out about this is, like, again, this kind of breaks, but freaking Ruby characters get to have, like, a bunch of songs mixed into one. That pisses me off. I mean, not the Ruby mixes. That's great they have the mixes like that, but I'm saying I gotta suffer for it. Ugh. Also, one thing, which is Neo's theme, in Red Leg Roses Part 2, which is a song by itself, they're also full versions. So they're not like some kind of cuts or any way, they're actual full versions. Also, most of the Ruby tracks are in the jukebox, and I would not be able to listen to in battle. You can't listen to songs like, Caffeine or Sacrifice in the battle theme. Now, I can kind of understand why licensing issues is a pain in the ass, and I can understand. Licensing issues is probably a pain, maybe there's a reason for it. But the point is they're not in there. And I can talk about this more once I get to the jukebox feature. So I can't say much about Ruby for now until I get to the parts later. So yeah, Ruby is kind of just in this little middle space as a point. So yeah, Ruby music's alright, but there's a lot of songs I believe that should have been in the actual versus mode, but whatever, I'm just gonna move on. And Arcana Heart. I don't know what to say about Arcana Heart. There's only one character. Yeah. I guess it's semi-normal. I mean, Heart having Heartful as her theme makes sense because that's her actual theme song, I think, from Arcana Heart 2? I cannot remember. It's been a while, but yeah, it's her actual theme from Arcana Heart. But BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle also gave Heart another song, and that is the opening to Arcana Heart 3. But it does not loop properly. It'll play for like 40 seconds and then stop, and it pisses me off. Honestly, she should have had more songs from 3. Like Arcana Heart, like is a series as a whole, has plenty of music. They could have gave her some songs, for example, like Clock Tower from Arcana Heart 3, or Spa Resort, or Mountain Range. I can't remember that. Mountain Top, or I forgot. There's another song in Arcana Heart 2, but I can't remember off the top of my head at this very moment. But there's at least some songs they could have added from 3 to give her, at least, man. At the very least, they could have gave her more music. Like, that's the sad thing about having one character from just one game. Like, this sucks. And since the Arcana Heart section was so short, I might as well transition into the Senran Kagura section. Senran Kagura is very normal. Yumi's the only character. There's also one thing that pisses me off, though. Again, all this shit I'm nitpicking at really hard. But why is okay, so Yumi's theme from Estival Versus is Grandfather's Wish. Fine. But for some godforsaken reason, Grandfather's Wish is forced to be the Astral Heat theme, even though it's actually Yumi's theme song, while the Bewitching Guessing Girls School, that song, is treated as her BBTAG theme. They kind of reverse the two. Like, that kind of weirds me out, because at least everyone in the game follows a consistent pattern of having their actual theme songs from their games, okay? But how come Grandfather's Wish, which is actually Yumi's theme, not her theme in the game? It's not even selectable. It's actually just stuck in the goddamn jukebox. What the hell, dude? That is so weird. Like, of all the songs you could have gave Yumi, she has two. She has two in the game. That's the Bewitching Guessing Girl School, and It's Summer on the Shinobi Beach. I can't remember the name of that song because it's long. But Grandfather's Wish is her actual theme, which is weird, man. Like, it's so weird. Like, of all her actual theme song, it's not even her actual theme song. It's so weird. Like, I feel like they probably did that. The Bewitching Guessing Girls School. I think they did that mainly because more of the Guessing Girls from Arcana Heart were supposed. Arcana Heart. More of the Guessing Girls from Senran Kagura were supposed to make it in. That could be a team theme. Don't know, but whatever. It's here now, and it just bothers the shit out of me. And finally, we reached the Akatsuki BlitzConf side, and Akatsuki and Blitztank have their own proper themes. Akatsuki has Awakening, Blitztank has Iron Horse. They have Dawn of War, which is the opening theme to Akatsuki BlitzConf. And honestly, I have no other songs I can fit in here. They even gave Akatsuki his Under Night and Birth theme, known as Open War again, and they didn't even have to give him that. They just gave him that because he was actually in Under Night as a crossover character. So honestly, Akatsuki BlitzConf is so safe to me that I can't complain. No complaints here about the music. Good job. They get a good job with Akatsuki BlitzConf. And now we finally reached the jukebox section. Now I can finally complain and whine about the goddamn jukebox in this game. Honestly, I like the idea of the jukebox. They added songs that weren't actually be playable, and there's a bunch of shit that's like nice about the jukebox. Hell, you don't have to listen to the same goddamn lobby theme every time you want to boot the game. Great. But sadly enough, there are some songs that are just relegated and locked to the jukebox, so you can't do shit about it. So the jukebox plays every song in the game. There are some songs that just from each series are just forced to be in the jukebox with no way to listen to them in verses. So here we go. From the BlazBlue side of the jukebox, we have Central Fiction, Blood Pain 2, Fatal Judge, Floss, which is one of the story mode themes, Pandora Tears, the opening cut for Shinsuo, The Star's Memory from BlazBlue Central Fiction, Endless Despair 2, Black Onslaught 2, and The Highlander. Honestly, I'm going to talk about why Central Fiction, the arcade opening theme for BlazBlue Central Fiction, bugs me here. But I'm not going to deal with that right now. Blood Pain obviously should just be in here. I mean, I know, like, you know, it's a team-based game, versus-based game, like where you have like two characters and they have versus things, and you can't have two of the same characters on your team, so Blood Pain would be pointless. But I feel like all these songs could have just been thrown into it. I don't even give a shit. Who cares if the Highlander doesn't have Giga Takemi Kazuchi? Just throw it in there. There's like just songs you just throw in here, man. The only song I see out of this entire list that I just brought up that doesn't work as a theme that works in the versus mode is Floss. Just throw the rest of the songs in here. Why are they stuck to the jukebox? Why even bother having the songs that can't even fight to them? Like, god damn it. So for the Under Night and Birth side, that's the songs that are locked to the jukebox at least, we have Gathers Under Night, Good Mooning End, Agitation Signs, Silent Moonlight, Heartbeat Breaker, As Seen Through an Orphan's Eyes, and 1000 in the Starlit Darkness, aka 1000 Years of Red and Black, which is the opening theme for Under Night and Birth, like the very first version of Under Night and Birth, the first arcade iteration. So this I honestly can't really complain about, because most of these songs, for example, okay, Gathers Under Night is the character select theme for Under Night and Birth. So that's perfectly fine why that's not like a song you could bow to. Perfectly fine. And from Good Mooning End all the way to As Seen Through an Orphan's Eyes, they're songs that are in the story mode and arcade mode. So I honestly have no complaints about them. 1000 in the Starlight Darkness is 1000 Years of Red and Black, aka. That's the opening for Under Night and Birth 1. I said Under Night and Birth 1. And that could have been just the one song you could have played through in verses, but honestly, I have no complaint about that. It's only one song, it's not a big deal, but still, it should have been in here. And since I'm already on this little tangent here, I guess I could stuff the ARCSYS Blitzkampf into this section. There's only one song from ARCSYS Blitzkampf that's not in the versus theme, that's in the jukebox, and that's War's End, which is the Astral Heat theme. Again, they could have made it playable, but it's not a big deal. Honestly, Under Night and ARCSYS Blitzkampf kind of get away with this for me. And we are here at the Ruby side, which is probably the biggest, it's just the biggest. Ruby side has a lot of music for the jukebox, a lot of opening things really, and I will go over to all of them. So they have This Will Be the Day, which is actually in Astral Heat in the game, the Astral Heat theme for the Ruby characters. Gold, I May Fall, Wings, Time to Say Goodbye, Die, Shine, Caffeine, Sacrifice, When It Falls, Neon, New Challengers, Divide, and Let's Just Live. Now, I have a lot of complaints about this, but honestly, when I think about Rooster Teeth and how they will copyright claim and strike anything with their music in it, or even a very small clip of their show, yeah, I'm not even going to bother complaining about this one. Rooster Teeth is just a bunch of assholes. But honestly, they should have been versus to play around with, because honestly, Ruby music is like very limited in the versus mode. But you know, again, I'm not going to complain about this. They should definitely be in there, because there's a lot of songs that should be here. But you know, I don't have the energy to waste about it. Rooster Teeth exhausts me, so I'm not gonna bother just complaining about this shit. I'm gonna move on. Now, I've complained about all the music choices used in BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, but what about the shit outside of Cross Tag Battle? And by that, I mean the actual releases of the soundtrack. Now, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle had 2 releases of its soundtrack. I mean, I guess technically 3, but I'm not counting the mini CD, because it's a mini CD. But anyway, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle had 2 releases of its soundtrack. That's the original soundtrack and also the remastering CD that came with the BlazBlue Complete Soundbox. Honestly, everything here is not too bad. They have all the versions of Crossing Fate, they have the Resonance theme, they have the System theme, no big deal. They also have the Ruby mixes, which is a little odd because they technically don't own those songs, and now I just realized they have an average of 5 minutes. Damn, I ain't going back to fix that, so screw it. Yeah. And for some odd reason, they have the arcade mode themes for Calamity Trigger, Continuum Shift, Chrono Phantasma, and Central Fiction, and the short version for Crossing Fate. Now, what bothers me about this CD release is that where are the songs that are originally made for this game? By that, I mean like the character select theme, or the lobby theme, or like, you know, all that shit. There are some songs that are originally made for this game that aren't even in the CD. And what gets me is that, like, why? You know, why even bother composing the music if you're not going to be able to use it? So that means the only ways to find these songs is through the trial version, which is a game rip that's been floating around on the internet. That doesn't count because it's not an official release. I don't count official releases. Yeah, it's great to find the song again. I'm just saying it doesn't count because it's not an official release, so I can't really, put it under this umbrella. But yeah, it's weird to have the arcade mode themes for this game. I think they just put them there just to fill out the soundtrack, which is honestly pretty stupid. And for some godforsaken reason, the arcade mode themes aren't even in the game, aren't even in Cross Tag Battle. It's like, so basically the CD has 7 songs, my bad, because I'm missing the short version of Crossing Fate. Ooh! So like the Ruby mixes aren't even songs specifically made for Cross Tag Battle. Yeah, they're mixed for Cross Tag Battle, but these songs are just mixes from the actual Ruby series. So I have no idea why ARCSYS was able to sell this song, sound CD like this. Like I don't know how they're able to do that. They don't even own these songs technically. So whatever. I guess this is a BBTAG special. It counts as one of their songs, but whatever. So only counting the original songs made for this game and not the short version for Crossing Fate. That's just the Crossing Fate songs in Resonance and System. So 6 songs, which is weird. That's so weird. It kind of bothers the shit out of me. Hell, you could at least have the courtesy to add the freaking arcade mode themes into Cross Tag Battle. Mostly because they're already short songs anyway, and they could probably find a way to make those loop. They probably could have found a way to make those loop. They're already short songs anyway, so at least it fill out the BlazBlue music. At least with the arcade mode themes, I wouldn't have been angry about it, but whatever, that's not a big deal. But now we move on to the remastering CD. Now, keep in mind, the remastering CD isn't even that different. The only thing it really changes is the adding of Turning Fate from BBTAG 2.0. So basically, it's the same damn soundtrack. They had 2 opportunities to add the rest of the songs from the goddamn series and didn't even do it. Sorry, the rest of BBTAG, my bad. And didn't even add it in. They just added Turning Fate, which is weird. Why is even a remastering CD? It's only 1 song. What? God damn it, ARCSYS. God. Whatever. I'm moving on. This is stupid. Honestly, this is 2 opportunities. God. Alright, that's the end of the video. I apologize for my dumb bullshit rambly stuff, but that was the only way I was able to get this video out, because honestly, writing a script would have done it no justice, I swear to God. But yeah, that's it. That's really it. That's all the complaints I really have about the music in this game. Honestly, it's no big deal. It's honestly no big deal. I just wanted to make this video because I thought it'd be really funny to make. I thought it'd be really funny to just complain about some shit. I like Cross Tag Battle, but holy shit, there are some choices that I just do not like. Oh my God, the BlazBlue music did not have to suffer. BlazBlue music died for this. Oh, but yeah, anyway, I'm sorry guys. Sorry, I'm ending the video. I apologize. See y'all next time. Peace everyone. I hope y'all have a great day. Bye.